Hi friends, I haven't done a video for quite some time now, but it is time for me to do the 2025 predictions based on Sri Lanka independence chart, as I did in for prior years. Jyotish chart shows the collective karma of the nation. In this case is Sri Lanka, which is the independence chart, right? So this collective karma could be good as well as bad karma, but mainly people living in Sri Lanka, but others as well. In Sri Lanka chart, there are three malefic planets that shows bad karma. Those are Mercury. We call Mercury as most malefic planet. It is the worst one. And Ketu and Rahu. This is the Jyotish chart for Sri Lanka. That I have done a video on this explaining all these placements and what the chart is. You can see that in the other video. You can search for it in my channel. And you can see in this chart, the Sri Lanka belongs to Venus, which is the Libra sign that we have, right? And you can see the three malefics, Mercury, Rahu, and Ketu. And then other planets are like in these light color ones. It's saying it's not that powerful, but this is the chart. So you can see more details in the other video if you want to learn this more. As you can see, Sri Lanka is running Malefic Rahu, main period or Mahadasa, from January 25, 2023 to January 27, 2041. A Mahadasa is pretty much, or the main period pretty much has about 15% effect. Because that's a longer period, it provides a color for the longer period. But important thing is Sabdasa or the Atrudasa. So we have Rahu main, Rahu Sabdasa period, which about 65 to 70% of the effect that shows in that period. And that started in same as with this same period, January 25th, 2023 to October 8, 2025. So in this year, we have 9 months plus for 2025 Rahu sub-period. And after that, from October 9th, we're going to start Rahu main period, but Jupiter sub-period. So Rahu will have 15% here, Jupiter will have 65 to 70% here. So that's how it works. Here is what Rahu represents. It's pretty much, diplomatic moves, manipulation, deceit, cheating, and drug pushes, and, these kind of all bad stuff here, except the tourism. If you look at, we have been running Rahu from 2023. So as you can see, the 2024, we have good tourism, arrivals, and almost 2 million, so close to 2 million in this year. And also we had a lot of travel of people and transportation. That's what happens in a Rahu period. If you look at my 2024 predictions, I have discussed these in there. And manipulation and deceit, you can see what happened, how much lies and stealing and cheating went on in 2024 as well. All these, what is coming out even now, all these to do with Rahu, manipulation and deceit. Deceit means, like people are cheating pretty much. Even very recent one is the professors, doctors, and all these big qualifications that people are talking about. Even prior government people were worse because they were cheating people left, right, and center. That's what's happening in a Rahu period. So even in now, you can see how even in this government, it's not immune to that. So that's how you had, a speaker resigning and stuff like that. Now, what Jupiter represents? Jupiter is God actually, and then Jupiter represents all good things pretty much in life, like economic prosperity and wealth, governance and law, education and knowledge, religion and spirituality, expansion and growth, social welfare, how people treat each other well, doing good for others, foreign relations. All of these good stuff is coming from Jupiter. Even though our Jupiter is weak in our chart, placed in the second house, it's like our Jupiter is something like, just for example, it's like in old age of 74 years. So Jupiter provides us some of these things, but it doesn't have a lot of power to do it. Like we are asking a 74-year-old person to, lift a heavy weight, which is unlikely happens. So it's not necessarily everything going to come in top class. It's not that way because the planet is weak, but it is in the second house of wealth and prosperity. So there will be some better situation than the Rahu period for sure. Hi, in this slide, I'm trying to go through Rahu, like how the three period works, like Rahu main period, Rahu Antardasa period, and the Venus Vidasa period, like Sub-Dasa. So that one actually started from, this is October 22, 2024. It's going up to April 2, 2025. Actually, you know that this period is not good at all. Like this wasn't good we are in this period now, in this December now, I'm doing this, at the end of December actually. So we know what happened in this period, all these rise and all these troubles with the animals and prices, and things are being manipulated. You can see how the paddy, how the big mills people are cheating and, hiding things and trying to increase prices, and all that is a manipulation. That's what is happening. And the illegal drugs, you see how a drug lord, two of them just disappeared like that. And then there can be adverse weather conditions. We had some adverse weather conditions so far, and it's going to have more as well up to, in this period. There will be increased debts, we are borrowing money from IMF as well, and there will be other debts as well. And general unhappiness going to continue all the way. And it's only good for tourism because it's Rahu here. But the Venus is, since Venus has a quite malefically influenced by Ketu, this period is not good. So that is what is happening. So that's one. And now the next one is Rahu main period, Rahu sub period, Sun sub period. This is slightly better period than this one, earlier one. There can be increased income that goes from April 3rd to May 21, right? And the help from friends, and then, like we will get some help from the other countries, but the manipulation and deception they will try, all these drug people and all these people who are trying to manipulate markets and things like that and make money out of it, will continue with general unhappiness. That's going to happen continuously even in this period. But we know the budget is coming in April. So we can expect increased income for some, at least the government servants kind of thing, right? So that's what's happening. You can see how these things is, come into place with how it works. It's amazing. Now the next period is Rahu Moon, and then that starts from May 22nd to August 11th, 2025. There'll be manipulation and deception also continue because the Rahu is there, and also general unhappiness going to continue. Government going to fight and try to do things better, and still it's going to be harder. There'll be improvement. There will be improvements, relating to status of the country as well as employment. So there is some positive things we expect in this period, but generally it's not a good period either. And then thereafter we have Rahu Mars, which is from August 12th to October 8th. Again, the Mars is malepically influenced by the most malefic planet Mercury, so it is not going to be a good period. So we're going to expect some bad weather situations and general unhappiness going to continue to some extent. But there will be determination to improve the position of the country. This is going to be some new initiatives going to come into this in this period for sure. And government will be more forceful and trying to put things in the right way for the future. Now from October 9th, we are going to run Rahu, Jupiter. So Rahu will only have 15% here, and then this is 65. So that is 80, and this is 20 here. So Jupiter will have a much more role in this period, and it is going to be a period of hope for Sri Lanka. That is a good thing compared to what we were running with Rahu earlier, Sub-Dasa periods. Definitely we are expecting positive period will begin from here. This is a start actually, so you're not going to see things immediately turning around. But this is going to bring hope as prior initiatives start showing results. So whatever hard work that's going to be done, and learning and all that going to help, because government is new and they are also learning all these difficult situations. So there'll be whatever initiatives they are taking now may not show the results until this period here, because it's running from October 9, 2025 to February 2026. But then the Jupiter period continues much longer. And also economy along with the country's status and the credit ratings will improve for sure. We just got a credit rating improvement, but there'll be more better improvements, in a Jupiter period, in this period here. New initiatives and transformative projects are likely to emerge. There'll be new projects that are going to come in stream, new initiatives, and that tied to wealth as well as values. So there'll be, we can have hopes here. We're not yet saying that this is going to be turn around everything here, but things are going to be positive. People will begin to see there's a positive direction close to, next 2026 in that area. And also public trust in the justice system will grow as corrupt individuals begin to face justice. So, right now, there are, all the people who are criticizing, saying, where is the justice? All these people who stole money in the Rahu periods, or even before, like I'm sure from 1980, Sri Lanka changed completely, and then all these years, people who became so selfish and started stealing for themselves rather than caring for people, there'll be, some people going to face justice based on their individual charts also, that's how it really happens. So there's a hope here, clearly hope here, beginning from this period. Here are some unfavorable periods in 2025 based on the malefic planet movements. They're called transits. Transits is what the planets are moving at any given time. Planets keep moving around. So that's how these events triggers when the planet touches a sensitive point of a Sri Lanka chart. I have a number of teaching videos, Jyotish teaching videos where I explain these very clearly. Anyone who is watching that and studying, then you can see how these things happen. Like in the first one, late February, none of these are going to be very major events. So first, right? And then first one here in late February, it's not going to be a major one. It could be higher education, and Rahu is deception kind of thing. And peak in February 28th. I don't expect much bigger item in here. This one is negative for sure. This is Rahu aspect Ketu. Peak on July 8th. Definitely weather events going to be there. I think we had a similar weather events earlier. We had bad air quality and a lot of rain and some wind events, like a storm, and kill a lot of animals at that time. That kind of stuff can happen here. Then the third one, mid-September, could be something to do with spirituality, religion, both because Jupiter is God and Ketu is related to spirituality, putting people, more people will more understand more about life or spirituality through some experiences that can happen. That's on peak on September 17th. So we know all of this period, Rahu period, still running. And in this one, it will be Jupiter period. So as we discussed earlier, this is also Rahu Ketu on MEP. Definitely weather events can happen. It can affect the income and foreign relations based on this one over here. So these, none of these are going to be very major events like, Aragalaya type and that kind of stuff. Any of the, people who are opposing, those who steal all the things from the country, they are expecting anything to change. None of these transits going to allow them for that. That is not going to happen. They'll be dreaming in that case, because Jupiter period, when Jupiter period starts, if you are not stealing, if you are doing good, if you are caring for other people, Jupiter will help, and the country will do much, much better. That's how what is happening. If you look at my election video, you would have seen what was actually happening. Here, these are the favorable periods based on transits in 2025. I explain what transits are. So pretty much there are 3 positive transits in major transits, like Jupiter on the 8th MEP, most effective point, peak on March 6th, mid-March again Saturn aspect Jupiter. These are major transits, peak on March 18th, and mid-March Jupiter aspect Sun, peak on these days. Actually, you can see all of the March has really good transit. So this is where the budget comes in, budget debate and stuff comes in this period. This is a one continuous process of, government change for better, at least, trying to avoid the corruption and all that happened in earlier periods, even though, that is not totally gone. At least it's better than earlier situations. And the budget going to be having some initiatives for sure that's going to benefit for the future. Definitely going to be helpful for Jupiter period to come. So these budget debates and all that in this period over here, I think, good economic news, initiatives, we know salaries will be up and those kind of stuff going to be there, in March. So March is a positive period. Actually, if I had time, I could have looked at what exactly happened on these periods, whenever these transits happened in previously, from 1948 to now, and then get a complete idea as to what exactly will happen. But then I don't have time to do that, because it's very hard to do that manually, looking at whenever Jupiter went on the 8th house most effective point. That would have happened every 12 years. So every 12 years something would have happened here. And then again here, Saturn was going aspecting Jupiter. This happens in every 29 years. And this was happening, Jupiter aspecting Sun in every 12 years, like that. So or what I tried was I went to the chat GPT and tried to get artificial intelligence to see whether I asked what will happen, in Jupiter was what was happening in prior occasions when Jupiter was on the 8th MEP, but it wasn't giving me good answers because first of all, Sri Lanka doesn't have day by day news thing on the history for it to find, so that's a difficult thing to do for artificial intelligence also. So I could not get ChatGPT to help me exactly what happened prior period. So if we did the research, then we could have easily say what would have happened on each one of them. So, forgive me, I mean, I don't have time to do that. It would have taken months to do it if I doing that manually. And we know March is good. Mid-September is Jupiter aspect Venus. This will help the country status, There will be some change, some status, country will be recognized some way or the other on this period. And in December, of course, there's Jupiter aspect Venus. This is much better one because these are both are connected. This is when the Jupiter going direct and when the Jupiter going retrograde, Jupiter going on reverse aspect Venus. So this is much more good news period over here, right? So we can see what is happening. These are the positive periods. So we can expect some positive areas, particularly with these two transits here. Right, and then March, we know whatever happening with the budget and whatever happening in March will have a longer term effect to positive side. Now this is the final slide. Actually, after all that, understanding, the important thing is what can we do as Sri Lankans to help Sri Lanka as well as ourselves. That is the important thing. Because many people do not understand value of giving and finding happiness through giving, rather than many people want happiness through receiving. But when you give, you receive in multiples, but people don't understand that. Always they say, they don't have money to give or that to give or this to give, I mean, that is the problem. That's the misunderstanding that religions and all these things provide. But actually, if you want to help Sri Lanka, if you want to help yourself, you need to help less fortunate persons, who are in difficulties. When God shows you, when your guardian angel shows you, someone needs help, your guardian angel is telling you to help that person because your guardian angel will give you much more than what you are helping for that person, but people just ignore that, saying, I don't have anything to give. And student education, because this is for Mercury for Sri Lanka, this is for Ketu and this is for Mercury, negative planet. Students education, if people help, buy a lunch, buy a book, teach somebody right things, love others unconditionally, there is no need to be jealous or anything because each one of us come with our own chart and there is no jealousy required in there. Absolutely, there is no need for jealousy at all because life understanding, because you don't gain anything by being jealous because whatever you carry to this life, your good karma and your bad karma is what you're going to reap in this life. So there's nothing else, so there is no need to do that. Love everyone unconditionally and also don't be jealous at all and have the correct life understanding. Find happiness in giving. Never cheat others because this is to do with Rahu here. And help clergy, this is to do with Ketu here. And feed stray dogs and animals, that's to do with Ketu here. Whenever big trouble come to your life, you will see stray dogs around your house. Respect the environment. That is important, extremely important, This is what we need to do. We don't have to break a tree or something unless it's absolutely needed, like that. So if we as Sri Lankans do these, it will help Sri Lanka tremendously. These are the little things you can do, you know, that's the important thing. I hope this video helps you guys with some understanding. You know, you can look at my previous videos. This is how actually life works. You know, this is the ultimate science of this world. If you truly, you will not understand that unless you learn this and see your own life, how which is happening, you know, then only you will realize there is no higher knowledge than this one. Okay, so all the best. If you have questions, you can, you know, comment on that, and then I will answer whatever questions. I'm not asking people to subscribe, and I'm not, you know, this is giving, you know, I'm not expecting anything in return like that. Okay, thank you so much.